Tom Brady.
What's up, everyone? Andre here, along with a special guest being Pixel Chris, right above me in this case. How are you doing, Chris?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for inviting me to chat with you today. We got a fun subject to talk about too, which I'm looking forward to digging into.
You came. I needed someone to talk with about this, about the upcoming announcement of the Super Mario Galaxy Movie Direct and the incoming trailer on Wednesday. And you immediately popped to mind because I remember you having such a strong reaction to the first movie, like I did. I remember we were chatting about it a little bit back in the day, 3 years ago now, almost. And yeah, you were a big fan of it, right?
Yeah, for the most part, I liked most of the choices they made with the movie, and we got to be honest, like there's obviously some nostalgia factor in play about with the love there, but from the ground up, I think they did a great job with the animation. The plot was simple, but I think effective, and it was something that I think I've always wanted from Nintendo, and I didn't realize like how awesome it would be until we had it in front of us.
Yeah, that's. I mean, same here. I mean, it's something I always knew I wanted, but I was also fearful because I grew up with the original Mario movie, and so I'm like, oh god, is Illumination gonna screw it up? Like when the news first came out of Illumination, I'm like, oh Jesus, they're making mistakes all over again. But then I saw it, I'm like, that was delightful. That was such a fun movie. So ever since we heard news of the sequel coming out, of which that was a while ago now, and we're only finally now getting more on it. I've been so freaking hyped the entire way. Though the fact it's a Mario Galaxy movie was a surprise, and now we're
Yes.
finally getting our first real glimpses at it. There was a leak last night from the Pillsbury Doughboy of all places that confirmed. So there will be some light spoilers here, chat, but really, I think that's nothing too surprising. That confirmed, of course, Yoshi's in the movie, big surprise, which you also knew from the Old Spice leak. That was totally random. Also, Bowser Jr. is going to be in it, and we also got a look at. So we got our first real good look at Yoshi. Looks great. We know Bowser Jr. is going to be in it, and Rosalina's Comet Observatory, which also means, of course, Rosalina is going to be in it. But they've kept her under wraps so far. We've not seen her, and so I guess, do you think we'll see her on Wednesday? Is she going to be in the reveal trailer?
I think they have to at this point. I think one of the biggest things that people, since they announced it was a Galaxy movie, the first question people had was who's going to be Rosalina?
Right.
And now they've had a very interesting and in some cases controversial cast picked for the original movie. So I'm actually more just curious and interested in who they chose to voice her because I felt a little taken aback when I first saw the original cast for the original movie, but then I thought that actually did a pretty good job overall. So I'm really interested in hearing who Rosalina is going to be.
Yeah, I want to see how she looks, what she sounds like. I'm so curious to see. But I will say, so now that we have our first official image of the Mario Galaxy movie that wasn't leaked, or actually, well, I'm sorry, not technically our first. There was a teaser trailer, of course. But now we have like this really nice image as well that offers a little bit more of a I think of an idea of what to expect. And let me go ahead and blow up this image a little bit. We can play around with this as we're going through it. First of all, this image looks freaking beautiful, I think. Like, I just love. Hold on, I'm turning. Oh my god, I'm screwing up all kinds of things here. Sorry, 1 second. What is going on? There we go. Okay. Like I love how this looks. We got the Happy Toads. We got freaking Chef Toad in the boat there. Chef Toad is from Super Nintendo World, in case you didn't know. We also have the Toadsworth stand-in in the main boat. We've got this little Toad on the left holding like he's got like different Mario. He's got like a whole Mario outfit on, like little merchandise. Like it's all so cute. Do you see the little dollies holding a Mario? It's adorable.
It's very detailed for sure. Like they definitely did put time into this illustration for sure.
As Noah says in the chat, you can tell they really upped the budget for the sequel. I think you're right. I thought the first movie already looked amazing, but based off this alone, it seems like they're really going the extra mile here. I remember in the first movie they were talking about how the Rainbow Road sequence was like a whole, like it was like something they said like it being a whole like effects driven sequence, like they had to do something special for
Yeah.
it. I think we're gonna see way more of that in this movie. But to that
Oh, we
point,
have to.
yeah, we have to, right? But to that point, this whole image like just looks striking. But also, you can watch my reaction to this in real time as I'm doing the news update on this. I'm like, this looks like a lantern festival. And I'm like, Andre, you freaking moron! It's the Star Festival from Mario Galaxy. So it seems like they're straight up, from what we can tell so far, like following the overall outline of Mario Galaxy, which is actually a surprise to me. It seems like from everything we know so far, it's sticking very true to the spirit of that game. Whereas the first Mario movie was kind of like a combination of all kinds of Mario sources. This one so far seems to be like it may be more closely following the story of a specific game rather than anything else. But I'm curious what your take is. Like, what do you think when you see this image?
Well, first I want to apologize because my cat just jumped right in front of the camera.
That makes it
But
better. Our stream's
uh,
even better now.
yeah,
It's been blessed.
yeah. So to what I'm thinking. So I kind of agree with you in the sense that it seems like they're really going to be going with the main plot of Mario Galaxy for this. I'm hoping that there are some added elements that just spice up the story
Right.
overall, especially because they released the products for Rosalina's book, which I thought if they weren't, I thought if they were, they did release a new version of the games for Switch, but I thought once you kind of invest in merchandise, you kind of are putting your feet down and you're like, yeah, no, we're really leaning into this. This is something that could be important later too. But then again, I'm also the type to always try to find like Easter eggs when they're not there. So it could really go either way. It really could.
It could. I think if we assume that it's following the concept of the game, then the idea would be that I guess the movies we might be looking at with the opening scenes from the movie. Or well, this is actually where it gets a little complicated. Actually, the game opens up with a Star Festival, but the thing is, I don't know if the movie itself will. Maybe it will, but we already have like unresolved things from the first Mario movie. Like we know Bowser's in
Yeah.
jail, so how's he going to break free? Maybe he doesn't. We know Yoshi's egg appeared in New York. We saw him in the sewers as a tease at the end of the first movie. And we now know Yoshi's going to be in this movie for sure. So how do we resolve that? So I do wonder if this is going to be the true opening of the movie or not. But in any case, it seems like this will be our introduction to this will let us start. This will be the. I guess this will be the what's a story word for it? Like the impetus for the story to continue to really start.
Sure.
Like where this
Yeah.
will probably be where. Well, actually, here's where it gets complicated. So in the game, Bowser attacks. He steals Princess Peach's castle. But if Bowser's still in jail, maybe that implies that maybe Bowser Jr. is the one who's like attacking this time and steals Princess Peach's castle. If we assume he gets lifted up into the air like in the game, right?
Sure. Yeah, no, there's a lot that they could actually do with this. Like, they can still stay true to the story that is Mario Galaxy while still changing up at least like the beginning of the story to make it make sense with the prior entry. I could totally see something like that, like maybe Bowser Jr. like breaking his dad out, or even maybe like that's a question. Maybe it starts right off with Bowser already out of jail, and you find out throughout the story how he got out that time, and that
Right.
might be like sort of like a B plot or something that you're figuring out along with the characters in the movie.
That could, yeah. I mean, they could go any number of ways in this. Like maybe Bowser Jr. is motivated by trying to get his dad out of jail. But then we also have to explain how in the hell does Bowser Jr. even exist? Like the first movie offers no idea of Bowser having kids, right? Or a kid at least. And so maybe it's something he had in the time since. But then he's in prison. So
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Because we need a proper introduction to Bowser Jr. if he's going to be in this movie. And I think, at least personally, I love Bowser Jr. as a character. I think it's great. So I think they really have to do this right for a lot of the big fans of that specific character. And they also just have to make sure that his addition to the story adds to the story itself, you know?
yeah, I mean that's it. I mean they have to introduce right now. They're basically introducing at least three new characters that we know of. We got Yoshi, Bowser Jr., and almost certainly Rosalina. And so that is kind of a lot to weigh, like, I mean, I guess the first movie also had to introduce a lot of characters too, but we have to,
Yeah.
talk, what's Yoshi's role in this movie? How much of a character is he actually going to be? Is he going to be talking here? Bowser Jr., like, what's his drive? What's he sound like? What's he going to be doing? I will say, looking at and Rosalina as well, like, where does she factor in? Like, the first movie, oh, sorry, the first game, if I remember correctly, I think, do they tease Rosalina's? I think they may tease her lightly in the opening or the storybook sequence, but then we're only really introduced to her after Bowser attacks, steals Princess Peach's castle, Mario gets blown into space, and then he lands on some weird planet, which is where he meets Rosalina.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they might change some of that stuff around. Like, I'd be actually a little surprised if it follows a direct order of events the same way. But maybe it is. Maybe Rosalina just like picks Mario floating through space, and it's like, hey, We could use your help. But what's Rosalina's mission here? Like, I guess in the first game, she needed to find her the stars again, retreating to power up the Comet Observatory. Is that her?
Yeah.
That can't just be her goal this time, though. Mario's not gonna go around finding power stars for her, right?
They definitely can't. They could simplify it in a sense and make it like, a trip to get a power source, but they can't just make the whole movie him trying to find little stars here and there just to get it where it needs to. But like I said, I could totally see them making it a plot point. Like, before we can even rescue Peach from Bowser again, we need to get the Observatory back in, working order.
Yeah, I mean, we do need it to be working. That is pretty important.
Yeah.
Super Aiden with a
Yeah.
super chat. Thank you, Super Aiden. Says, with this being a combination of what seems to be Super Mario World and Galaxy, the music is hopefully going to be once again amazing thanks to Brian Tyler.
Oh yeah.
He did such a good job in the first movie. I've seen a lot of complaints or heard a lot of complaints about the music of the first movie, how there's too much pop music. It was under 7 minutes. Most of the rest of the movie was amazing Mario music or original compositions, and I'm so excited to see what Brian Tyler creates for this one, because the first movie I think did an amazing job with the soundscape, and yeah, having Mario World and Galaxy soundtrack on order, like there's already teases of Galaxy in the first movie a little bit, but going all out with it here, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be incredible.
Oh, for sure. There's no doubt of that at all. And I think, honestly, I think the whole complaint with the first movie was just the fact that one of the songs that they did choose was a song that's used heavily in a lot of other movies, which was "Take on Me," right? Like that, if I'm remembering that
Yeah,
correctly.
that's one of the.
That is just everywhere. It's so like identifiable from like the first couple of notes that I could see why people kind of latched on to like, oh, they're using like real music instead of video game music, but they had a healthy amount of new music pertaining to the Mario
Yeah,
series in the movie.
if you compare it to the Sonic movies, it's like literally night and day. Sonic movie, the first one had like 5 seconds of a recognizable tune. Second movie had maybe 20, and whereas
Yeah.
The Mario movie had minutes, minutes and minutes and minutes, an entire soundtrack's worth, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. Fawn had a super chat. Thank you, Fawn. Says, I'm excited to see Yoshi in the movie. Yeah, I mean,
Me too.
Yoshi, like he goes way back now, like he's a popular character. And that's why it's crazy to me that they went right to Mario Galaxy, because like I feel like there was so much room still in there that they could have just focused on, Mario World and Dinosaur Island and Yoshi, and so that's
Yeah.
why it feels like it does seem like there may be a lot to juggle in this one. But, I hope that they'll pull it off because I need them to.
Can I ask you a question, Andre? I
Yeah,
know
of
this is
course.
your show, but I need to know.
No, go
Do
ahead.
you Would you prefer if Yoshi was voiced like fully as a character, kind of like any other character, or do you need him to do his Yoshi noises throughout the movie?
Oh my god, that's such a tough question, Chris, because I feel like I won't know until I see it, right? Like I need to see what they're doing to
Sure.
fully gauge and to know whether I'm happy with it or not. My gut reaction is, since Yoshi is a baby right now, presumably he's hatching. I assume he's gonna be
Sure.
hatching out of an egg, that we saw
Mhm.
at the end of the movie. That I think maybe him not talking makes sense, but then on the other hand, would that be a little boring? It is Illumination. They love to give everything voices. Secret Life of Pets had all the animals talking, right?
Yeah,
And on the other hand, and I do think Yoshi could work with a voice. In the Mario World cartoon, he had a voice, albeit a terrible one, but
sure.
it can technically work. But I do think that I do think it would be a little weird if we see him being born on screen out of the egg, he's just talking full sentences right away. That would be a little weird, I think. So
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I don't even know where I land on it. I think it's similar to what you said. If it's good, it's good. I kind of see, and I'm not saying I would like this, but I totally could see Illumination doing something silly with his voice to contrast what we already know Yoshi kind of sounds like. So like, and this is me just pulling something off the top of my head. If it was like a weirdly deep Yoshi voice with a normal speaking voice, like a person, I could see them doing that, and I don't think I'd be excited about it. But it might be like Yoshi might be the comedic relief character for the movie. Who knows? It could still be Toad. It could be like they're all comedic reliefs at different points, you know. But I would prefer if I had to choose right now. I need my little Yoshi going and then like floating and all that. I need it. It's gotta at least be
yeah,
referenced.
here's my one hope. I will say, like whether or not that he fully speaks or not, it can't be
Mhm.
the same voice sample has been hearing for 30 years now, right? Or yeah, 30
No.
years. I guess they did re-record a few new sounds for Mario Wonder, I believe. But point is, it can't be existing sounds from a sound base Nintendo already has. I want new voices, new sounds for Yoshi. That doesn't mean it has to sound different from how it currently sounds. But yeah, I'm fine with them saying Yoshi as long as it's not the same Yoshis we've been hearing. So
I'm actually curious of what, and this is very deep. We don't even have to go into this, but I would be curious what Nintendo's agreements are with using their sound libraries because I know for a lot of bigger projects for voice actors, when it comes to like the movie version of the show that they voiced over, or a video game or something like that, they have to legally re-record their lines. Whereas like I know Nintendo's like this giant company that could have these special different types of agreements that don't necessarily apply the same way. I'm really curious to see how that shakes out too, because I also want my voice actors to get the work that they deserve too, if it's available.
well, we don't even know. That's the thing. We don't even know if Yoshi's going to have a voice actor or not officially. Like, they haven't announced it
True.
yet. But I am thinking that with this being a full-on direct now, not just a trailer reveal, it's making me think there's going to be a little bit more news to it. They'll probably announce some more voice actors in this. Like, they'll actually. Here's what I'm kind of hoping. I'm hoping that they just show us the movie, the trailer first, without talking about who the voices are. Like, I don't want it in my
Sure.
head knowing that, like, oh, Rosalina's being voiced by Aquafina, and then going into the movie trailer
Yeah.
knowing that, right? I think it'd be cooler to hear
Yeah.
the voice naturally. It's the same thing for Yoshi first, before we actually see it and hear it, or before we find out who's voicing it. Did that make sense? Do you think we'll hear more news along those lines, or?
There has to be. I mean, I don't remember. Did they mention how long the direct's going to be? Because
I don't
like
think they have. Correct us if we're wrong, Chad. I don't think they've said that though.
so I to do a whole dedicated direct, it has to be longer than like 5-10 minutes,
Yeah,
right? I would
they were
hope.
pretty short
Well,
before, but yeah,
mm,
at least 5 minutes, I believe. So
yeah. So I'm hoping we get some fun little tidbits too. Maybe some fun concept art. I'm a sucker for all the behind the scenes stuff. So I love to see how things came to be and how they are now. So any and all extra information they want to give us, I'm willing to take.
on that note, Liam in the had a super chat. Thank you, Liam. Says if
Mhm.
they announce new voice actors during the direct, we might be in for another hilarious reveal like with the first movie. That is
It
true. I
was.
almost do want them to announce it first just for that reason alone, because it could be hilarious, the WTF reactions to who the voices are. But then you watch the movie, it's like, oh, those are totally fine. Like Chris Pratt is still the
Yeah.
biggest. Like, I mean, even I was shocked by that. And then you watch the movie, it's
Mhm.
like it's completely fine. He did great as Mario.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think it's just the expectation right off the jump when you get those names. And then also I agree with Leo because it was something. I remember exactly where I was while when I found out. I wasn't even home. I was at the gym working out and I got like it might have been a GameXplain notification about the announcement or IGN or something where it happened and then I immediately opened the direct, watched it while at the gym like doing cardio and I'm like this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And like exactly like you said, it really wasn't that bad. It
no.
it really wasn't that bad. They did pick the correct people for their characters, and I was happy with how it came
And
out.
I think, yeah, no, I fully agree with you. And I think no matter who they would have announced, by and large, you have had similar reactions. Like, no matter who they cast as Mario, people be like, what? Just because it's a character we've known for so freaking long, hearing of anyone but Charles Martinet was going to be a big freaking deal. Actually, that reminds me. I hope that they announce that Charles Martinet is back in this. In the first movie, he voiced both Mario's dad as well as a Jumpman-like character in the arcade. So I really hope that one, he's back for just so it's Charles Martinet back in a official Mario project would be amazing. Since I don't think he's done anything since the Mario movie. That was, I think, yeah, that was his official last project. That had a whole short that blew up about that. But also, I want Mario's dad to be back. I want Mario's family to be back. I love them in the first movie. I want to see more of them. But will there be time for them, given how much else there is to cover here? Will this movie be 90 minutes again, or will it be longer?
Yeah, no, first off, I think Charles kind of deserves to be in the movie no matter what. I know he's technically not the active Mario voice anymore, but he paved the way for that
Oh,
character
absolutely.
and the most recognizable noises. If you can include him in any aspect in your Mario product, whether it's a movie, a game, etc., you need to go for it because that's the thing that like people get excited about. When you hear the woohoo or like, like any of his little Marioisms, you get really excited and it puts a smile on your face.
It totally does. There's something infectious about Charles Martinet's sheer joy as Mario. I mean, he basically is Mario in
100.
real life. Like if you like, sometimes I think he legit gets confused who he is. Sometimes I think he just thinks he's Mario. But no, it's so endearing. I love the guy, and I really hope he's back for the Mario movie, Mario Galaxy movie. Real quick, Robert, one of our mods, had a comment saying, "I'm going to say Yoshi is going to just do Yoshi noises until the end when he meets a bad guy in the movie and then says, 'I am Yoshi,' with Vin Diesel voicing him in crude voice."
That you see, that's what I would love. You see, I would love a deadpan like full sentence spoken, and then people just question for the rest of the movie. Wait, can he talk, or was that like what was this?
Yeah.
That's fun. That's fun, and that's kind of like the stuff that you kind of expect from Nintendo to do in their projects. It's just again, I don't think we know the extent that they're involved in these movies. We know they're working closely with them, and we know that oh my God, I'm having a blank stop. The creator of Mario, why am I forgetting?
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yes, it was integral in the the pre-work leading up to the development the creation of the movie. But I want to know. I hope Nintendo gets more involved. I hope they do more silly things and more references. There were so many good references in that first
Oh,
movie.
there were a ton. Oh, I mean, it was always my understanding that Nintendo's heavily involved in the first Mario movie.
Okay.
Just because, I mean,
Okay.
maybe I'm wrong, but just because there was no way they're going to repeat the mistake of the first film back in '93, the live action one. So I
True.
think they were steeped in
True.
every instance of it, to the point that they even handled the localization themselves for Japan. They did the
Oh.
on-screen or the retranslation and everything. So yeah, there were. So I think they were
Oh,
heavily
okay. That
involved.
makes me feel great.
Yeah, so I
That
think
makes
it's
me
in
feel great. I'm happy.
really good hands. Okay, we had another super chat a while ago. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
skip you. I think Lil Yezi. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. So thank you for the super chat. They said
Oh, I see.
Sad Lumily will have a connection with Rosalina. That's a great point. So the first Mario movie arguably teased this already, like because they had a couple instances where they were talking about space, or where Princess Peach is from. But the clearest connection to Rosalina was that freaking adorable little blue Luma, where he was like super sad and depressed. So do we think he'll come back in this movie? And if so, like, what's his connection to Rosalina?
That's a great question. I would have to. So I could totally see Lumily being like the Luma that hangs out with Rosalina. Like I know she's had multiple different Lumas when she's in Smash Bros. And then I don't think they really specify that she has the one with her in the game, right? Like one usually idles next to her in the game. Like they could easily swap that out with our Luma Lee and just have it add that comedic relief whenever she's being serious and then he kind of like
Oh
contradicts
my
like,
god,
oh, but or we could all die and like it won't
that
actually
could be
go as planned.
amazing.
Like because I know Rosalina's a very bright personality in the game. Like she's very hopeful and very trying to do the best she can for her people or her stars, whatever you want to call them. So having that contrast as like it being her little sidekick could be really funny.
I love that idea. That could be such an amazing pairing and a natural pairing. I mean, obviously, she'll have a Luma at least, obviously. But if
Sure.
it's Luma Lee, that could be such a fun contrast because I do wonder. Some people had complaints of how Princess Peach was handled in the first movie. I quite liked it. I thought it made sense for the character, considering she, no offense, everyone, she's kind of a nothing character in most of the time. Maybe outside of
Yeah.
the spin-offs. But I think Rosalina, I do wonder if they may be a little bit more. Not I don't want to say reserved with her, but go for more of that like that regal look or regal
Yeah,
not
yeah.
look, but regal feeling you expect from like especially a galactic princess or what the heck is Rosalina? That's why in this movie the answer. What is she? Is she a god? Like
Yeah.
she has godlike abilities.
Your guess is as good as mine. I truly, after like when I played it the first time, I questioned it a lot, and then after a while, it was just like, all right, she's just her. She's just her. We just gonna, she's her.
Yeah. That's it. I mean,
Um,
this will be interesting. We'll get. I mean, we already have some backstory on her, of course, from Mario Galaxy and the whole storybook. But I think we'll get more of that here, right? Like we have to find out more about like the essence of her, and like she's gonna have to have like a clear motivation, and and even more of a personality. But I do think too they can't like push it too far with her, right? Like I don't think she's gonna be cracking jokes constantly.
No, I think she could possibly be a straight character, like our straight man for the movie. Like everyone, like she's could be all business and be like, I really need to save my people. I need to, and then if it's Lumen Lee, that's that comedic relief,
Right.
that like you contrast great. But the whole cast has their own versions of silliness that even if that wasn't the case, they would help bring out. I could totally. You verbalized it, and you made me think, and I'm like, yeah, if Rosalina's a straight man the whole time and just trying to like get the job done while everybody else is goofing off. That
Like,
could be really
oh,
funny.
that could be really funny. Almost like the Lumas. This is gonna sound terrible, so don't take it the wrong way, everyone. It almost could be like the Lumas could be like the minions for Rosalina, like these kind of little goofy little cute guys, and Rosalina's got
Yeah.
like parent the or not, what I mean, like keep control of all the cats running
Mhm.
around, all the Lumas. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
could totally see it being like do it like her pulling her out hair out trying to wrangle them together, but the one good thing that she looks forward to doing with them is reading them stories and stuff. Like being like, all right, fine, like story, yeah, let's sit down, and she enjoys engaging with them that way, but then like doing the other quote unquote parent stuff to wrangle them day to day drives her like nuts.
yeah, I think that could be really fun. So we have a
Yeah.
lot of super chats that came in. So Canadian
I
says,
know I saw.
yeah, Canadians is hype for the trailer. Yes, we didn't really even talk about our hype levels. Like, I think if you watch my announcement video, I'm losing it. That's my raw reaction to it. I was so excited. How did you feel about getting this announcement of the direct though, Chris?
So I actually heard about it while I was at work today, and I immediately stopped what I was doing, made sure that the information I was getting was correct, and looked it up. And then I kind of had like a full 30 seconds where I was just daydreaming and be like, "This is gonna be a sick commercial, well, trailer. I'm gonna really get into this. I could just feel it. It's gonna happen." So I'm really looking forward to it. I know there's gonna be something that we aren't expecting in this trailer, and I'm just racking my head trying to figure out what it is because Nintendo loves to surprise us with the little details for sure.
They really do. Another super chat from Liam says, "Do you think they could take specific Mario locations and turn them into planets as a way to introduce more characters, like Sarasa Land for Daisy?" That's an interesting thought. So basically, they're asking, I mean, that would be actually kind of a big change. Like, because right now, as far as we know, Daisy is part of the Mushroom Kingdom planet, but this would suggest that maybe she's from a whole different planet, and that would kind of make sense with the idea that Princess Peach isn't even a Mushroom Kingdom native. There's no, as far as we know, there are no native humans in the Mushroom Kingdom, which would imply Daisy's got to be from somewhere else.
So my question would be if that's the way it would go, it'd be like, okay, so what is the quote unquote real world in relation to the Mushroom Kingdom where you can just use a
Warp
pipe to
pipe,
get
yeah.
there? Like, is it like, a like a black hole, you're going through something and then you get like, what if Earth is its own planet and that like pipe is just a way to get to the, planet, Mushroom Kingdom planet faster,
That's
you
that
know?
exactly. Having this be a Mario Galaxy movie kind of makes you rethink some things, right? It's like like I was wondering, like, is the Mushroom Kingdom its own whole universe? Like, is the Mario Galaxy stuff we're gonna be exploring, is that part of the same universe the Mushroom Kingdom is in? But the real world, or Brooklyn, our planet Earth, is that its own separate universe, or are they, as you said, just all different planets all in the same universe? And I don't know.
Yeah, that it really could be anything. With them, they
Yeah.
will try anything and see how people respond,
And
which I love about Nintendo.
And to that point too, I wonder, to the super chats point, I wonder if, like, in Mario Galaxy, most of the planets are pretty small. Like, they're planetoids, they're not actual
Yeah,
planets, right? And I
sure.
wonder, is that gonna be the focus of the movie, like tiny planetoids, which I would think would
Mhm.
kind of mitigate the chances of like full like worlds appearing, or
Sure.
will it be treated as more of like a planet hopping adventure where, yeah, these are actually full on worlds. We already have seen some art again from the Pillsbury leak, suggesting these planetoids are back, and that also makes me think, how does this work in this universe? Like, do people like live on one planetoid and hop to work on another planetoid? Like, how did they get around? Like, how does the space travel work here? And
Yeah, no, that's a good question because here's the thing. The Mario Galaxy is such a good game because it has so much content, so much fun to experiment, especially with the gravity and all of that when you're going from planet to planet. And there's just like I think it's been the theme of us going back and forth. It's like, what are they gonna do with all this? There's so much they could do that like we can sit here and like come up with different ideas and we could still be not even close to what they decide to do.
yeah, oh,
It's
that's
just I think that's the fun part though,
It
right?
is a fun part. Yeah, I mean, I want them. What's some people want the movies to be a direct recreation of the games, and like for one, that's literally
Mhm.
impossible. Like, have you played the games? There's almost no story there. Like people complain about the first movie
Sure.
having no story. It's like it has a ton of story compared to the games. Okay, they had to add a lot to it. And so I don't want a direct recreation. It is fun to see like what else they can do for Mario in this new medium for the series. And so yeah, it's fun to be surprised by what all that could be. Whether it's cameos of existing worlds as new planetoids or full-on worlds, I don't know. I will say though, getting back to Daisy before we move on, I'm gonna predict
Yeah.
I don't think Daisy appears here. The only chance Daisy has is as a post-credits tease. I think that could be the chance, but I think they're gonna save her for a separate movie.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that because I and also can we just talk about like they did the reveal like and you can even look at the Sonic movies like that's their big thing to bait you into going into the theater for the next movie, like
Right.
slightly revealing a character because now okay, they're going to be involved in the next one, I'm going to have to see it. So I think we got that already with the Yoshi reveal at the
Yeah.
end of the first movie, and if we're going to expect like a new exciting character like Daisy, which I absolutely adore, either like actually not even either. I think it would have to be another reveal, and the movie would have to be centered around like not centered, but really focus on that character in some aspects.
Right.
And I feel like Galaxy is going to be doing so much. Like I don't know if they're going to have time to do like a whole Daisy backstory in addition to answering questions that we have from the first movie.
Exactly. I think almost it would be doing Daisy a disservice if she were in this movie proper. And I will say, I think that's something yeah, they had the post keys cameo for or tease of Yoshi in the first one, but I think that would have been even more impactful had they not already just shown Yoshi's in the first movie. There's a Yoshi scene, so it kind of took the steam out of that cameo's sales or the tease sales. So I think now that the Mario movies are obviously a huge success, I think they're gonna nail this next tease. Whatever that post credit scene is, I think they're gonna nail it. I'm really excited for it. Crossover
Me as well.
Dreamer had a super chat that says, "What if Super Mario Galaxy movie pulled a DuckTales reboot, voice strategy, and My Little Pony's Princess Celestia as Rosalina?" I don't fully know what that means. Do you know what that means?
DuckTales reboot strategy and My Little Pony. I'm not quite sure because I wasn't a big fan of DuckTales. So that being said, the voice cast of My Little Ponies, I'm not a big fan of the show, but that voice cast is stacked. Like they have great talent in that show.
Okay.
And I'm sure if you looked up like the cast list for all the My Little Pony stuff, you'll recognize a lot of those names from other shows that you enjoyed, especially if you're like a cartoon watcher like I was, or I currently am, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I still watch whenever one stands out to me, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, if they get voice casting, I'd be down for it. Like I don't even know what I want Rosalina to really sound like, but it's the kind of thing when we hear it, it's like, oh, that works for it. So hopefully
Yeah.
that's a hope.
And Nintendo did extensive tests during the audition process. They waited until they found the right voice. I'm sure they didn't just reach out to a single, big name actor and be like, "Hey, be this person for us."
Yeah, I think a lot of people were dunking on the original casting, until we saw the movie. It's like, oh, these worked. And I think Nintendo and Illumination put more thought into it than it seemed like at first.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they wanted big names for it, but it wasn't just the first big name that came to mind that they went with, it seems like. Or, what I mean? Not the first big name to get attached to a character. Like, by and large, they all worked, with I think Cranky Kong being arguably the most divisive, but I still thought he worked fine after I got used to it. Brony Pony Productions had a super chat. Thank you. Asks, do you think that Wario or Daisy will be in this, despite them not technically appearing in Galaxy? If so, how would you want each to be introduced? Good questions. We already talked about the Daisy side of things. I think we're both in agreement. She probably won't appear outside of a post-credits tease. But what about Wario? There was some weird leak that I don't even know if it had any credence to it or not, but it suggested that Wario and Bowser Jr. might work together. Now, since then, Bowser Jr. has been confirmed, but obviously we kind of expected him because he was already in the games. Wario was never in the games. He's barely even in the Mario series. He's more of a spin-off character. So do you think there's a chance Wario could appear here?
I mean, my heart says no, my want says yes. I think Wario is just a great character and could offer so much humor overall. But I think we've learned pretty much over the years of video games that have come out from Mario and the Mario series and Smash Bros and stuff. Like people have been begging for Waluigi in Smash Bros. We never got a physical character. Wario was added in Brawl, I believe, and I think that's what fueled the want for Waluigi. So I think okay, in short, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it could happen in a future movie for sure because there's so
Yeah.
much gold there, and no pun intended because he loves his money, but there's so much gold that you could do with Wario as a character, and I think if anything, if you decide to include him, he needs to be the main antagonist for that movie because
That
it's going to be so good.
that could be a good way of giving Bowser a break too. I love Bowser. I wouldn't mind if he keeps coming back over and over, but you also run
And
the
Jack
risk.
Black,
And Jack Black's amazing,
yeah,
exactly. So I'd have no qualms with it, but you do run the risk of it getting a little repetitive. The same villain, same motives all the time, right? You know, I've seen some
yeah,
complaints about that with the Sonic movies, though I think Jim Carrey's amazing in it. But it may be good
mhm,
to give like that, you know, to give some kind, or at least a new dynamic. Like Bowser doesn't necessarily have to be gone, but it could be that Wario ends up being a bigger threat or something, or maybe it works with Bowser. Who knows what? In any case, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be here. But you know, and I still have trouble picturing how Wario even fits into the universe because then you have to explain like why does he look so similar to Mario? You know, what's his deal? Is he from Brooklyn
or
too? Is he some weird creature that Bowser created? Is he like dark magic or something? Does Waluigi get involved? I could maybe see as a post credits tease instead of Daisy, but you know, again, I have trouble envisioning it. All right, more super chats.
yes.
Amish Paradise says, I predict that Anne Hathaway might voice Rosalina. I've actually heard this a few times. What do you think, Chris?
Okay. So nobody here knows me. I love Anne Hathaway. I love the work she did on Disney. I love the musical work because she's a very big musical performer. I'm also into musicals and acting and all that. Anne Hathaway could be a great choice for Rosalina because she is so good. She like in her regular like live action acting, her voice reflects everything that she does. You could just listen to her voice and you know exactly how she's responding to something.
Right.
And she also was in the Princess Diaries, meaning she was a princess, meaning if Rosalina is a real princess, not just a god, it would make sense.
All right. Hey, if you were happy with it, I'm happy with it. No, I think Anne Hathaway would be a great fit, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
How crazy would it be if it actually ends up happening? I need to know. Like, I want to know who's going to voice
I know.
everything.
I'm
Uh,
so nosy. I want to know.
Spider King, I believe, with a super chat, thank you, says, "Do you want Lubba in the movie? Voice or sorry?" And they ask voice question mark role question mark. So asking who would voice what would be the role of him. So yeah, Lubba is of course the character, the pilot of the starship from Mario Galaxy 2. So yeah, do you think there's a chance that Lubba could appear here?
He's the chunky star, right?
Correct. She now. She's been confirmed.
Oh, she. I'm
I probably
sorry.
spoke just then because I'm so used to it being a he. But officially in the new version, thanks to the backstory, we know it's a she now. So yeah, will she appear?
Okay,
Do you think?
gotcha.
Yeah, the chunky one,
Okay,
the
yeah,
big purple one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That was I could totally see Lubba being included. I don't know if Lubba would be integral to the story unless again there's some sort of interaction regularly between Rosalina and that one character. Which I could totally see like Rosalina just being like, "All right, turn the ship this way," and then Loba just being like, "Oh, okay, like God, I thought we were going this way
Right.
instead." You know, like the like stuff to fuel if it's going to fuel Rosalina's like straight character, I could totally see Loba being included. But if that's not the route they're gonna go, I can't I don't see it being a big role.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think because in the first movie, we technically don't even see who's piloting, or not the first movie, the first game, who's
Yeah,
piloting the starship. Like, I guess it's Rosalina, but I think it would make more sense if she's like the captain and someone else is doing the grunt work of like steering the wheel or
yeah,
whatever, right? So I think that'd be a
yeah,
fun way of marrying elements of Mario Galaxy 2 into this as well. Yoshi technically already fulfills that role, but yeah, I mean, you
yeah,
can't really make a Mario Galaxy 2 movie. Like, the game itself didn't have much story. That the first
yeah,
game didn't. So yeah, I think it'd be cute if they brought him in, brought her in. I'm still getting used to it after all this
yeah.
time.
It's okay. I
And,
messed up too.
and plus, but the fact that she got her own backstory, I think actually does kind of make sense that you know they're building her up as this presence to help for that cross promotion synergy with the movie. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Liam with another super chat, a big one. Thank you, Liam. Much appreciated. Thank you to everyone for
Oh,
all the
so
super
kind.
chats. Liam says, last super chat I'll do, but I hope we can get more behind the scenes stuff since there was barely any for the first movie. I would love to see cast and crew interviews as well as deleted scenes, but I'm doubtful. I'm right there with you.
Oh,
I mean,
I would too.
the first movie had some pretty good behind the scenes features on the Blu-ray, but they could have gone so much deeper. Like, I would love to see like animation tests, more storyboards. Like most of the best behind the scenes stuff that we've seen, like were leaked or were on people's profiles. You know, like their profile portfolios. Like, I would love to see
Oh
more
yeah.
like more documentation, like how did the process work with Nintendo? Like, I want to see Miyamoto giving his feedback on something. Let's see the meetings. You know, like Nintendo. Unfortunately, Nintendo's so conservative with that stuff. We'll probably never see it. But I would love if they did more behind the scenes stuff like that. You know.
Or maybe I could see if like let's say this becomes a trilogy and they do like a special bundled in packaging of all three movies, like they would be like also deleted or behind the scenes stuff. Like I could see them doing that for a special occasion, but I wouldn't put it past them to do the same thing they did for 3D All-Stars where it was a limited release and then they pulled it off shelves. So who knows what the future holds.
Yeah, that limited edition. People are still upset about that. So,
Yeah.
all let's see here. Oh, one thing I want to point out is how in this art, I did never expected this. Freaking
Mhm.
Chef Toad. Chef Toad is
Yes.
canon. Chris, have you been to Super Nintendo World?
No, it's on my list. It's literally on the top list when the next time I take a vacation, it's probably going to be Super Nintendo World.
So the crazy thing about this is a character that was made for Super Nintendo World. He's now been canonized in the Mario Galaxy movie, which like is almost making the outside game, like the things that
Mhm.
exist outside the media that isn't games, like its own canon. Like so Super Nintendo World
Yeah.
canon to to the Mario movie now. Like it's crazy how this is unfolding. Even though Super
Yeah.
Nintendo World
I'm
itself. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
but no, you're fine. But now I'm curious, like if Chef Toad's involved, does that mean our main Toad voiced by was it Keegan Michael Keegan?
Yeah,
I
Keegan
forget his
Michael
last name.
Key.
There we go. Like he stopped and cooked meals a couple times. Is his job no longer around? Like does Chef Toad take over at that point?
Oh,
Or are they gonna have a weird interaction where it's like, no, cook it this way or cook it that way? No, no, this is the right way. I've been chef for 20 years, or like I could see like I love thinking of the little interactions that they try to like
yeah, actually, I didn't even
craft.
think about that because yeah, in the first movie, the Toad like cooked a lot. Like it's kind of like he distracted the guards by cooking, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a fun little. Oh man, yeah, giving like Toad some competition. I will say I do hope
Mhm.
that they give Toad even more of a role in this movie. I mean, I guess
Mhm.
there's a whole Captain Toad angle, and the first movie
Sure.
teased that Captain Toad music with him early on. So I do wonder if maybe he'll get a promotion in this movie where he's piloting his own starship of somehow or something.
That could be fun. That would also be super silly, and you could do a spin-off movie just about that.
Maybe they will. Like, there have been a lot of rumors recently. I don't know whether they're based on anything or not. Of there being more spin-offs with specifically Donkey Kong, which seems realistic. As of today, I think there was a rumor of a Yoshi movie coming in. So yeah, they could go any number of
Yeah.
directions. Captain Toad could get his own movie. So who knows? More super chats. They're coming in. They're coming in hot. I can barely keep up, Chris.
I know, I know.
It's a lot.
The hype is real.
It is real. It's so real.
Mhm.
Legit, these movies are some of the most excited things I've been for Nintendo stuff in years. Like, I'm so excited for
I
them.
know.
Super Phase with a super chat says Hathaway slash Rosalina. So Hathaway for
Okay.
Rosalina. Wario would be
Yeah.
Martinet. Oh, I love that. You bring Martinet back as Wario. Good
Honest,
one.
yeah. Honestly, if I know I already said that I don't think he'd be in it, but if he was in it and it was just Martinet again, I would not complain at all.
I wouldn't either. Then
I think
also he
it's
said Yoshi Vin Diesel, which someone else, Robert, already said that in our chat
yeah.
too. So good one. Thank you for the super chat. Too bad Waluigi time with a super chat. Thank you. Says, I think the picture we see here is actually the beginning of the movie. The movie starts off at the Star Festival until Bowser Jr. ambushes them, maybe stealing the castle like in the game. We actually were talking about that earlier. We're trying to figure out like what
Yeah.
is this? What is this actually? Is this the beginning of the game? So I'm thinking about this more. Let's roll with the idea that this is the first scene. Maybe this all happens
Sure.
and Mario isn't even there. Maybe Mario is like in Brooklyn taking care of Yoshi or whatever and doing his day job because we know he's still a plumber at the end of the first movie. The Star Festival happens. Maybe Mario isn't here. Castle gets kidnapped from Bowser Jr. And then Mario shows up and he's like, "Where the hell's the castle?" Right? My hell, where the heck's the castle?
Sure.
And then that's
Sure.
when he But then you have to. But then maybe then how's Rosalina getting involved? How's Mario getting into space? It still raises questions.
I could totally see like if the takeover happens while Mario isn't there and starts. I could totally see Toad running towards the warp pipe and like popping up in like Mario's closet or something, like when he's getting ready for bed and be like, Mario, we really need you. Like everything's falling apart over here. Come on, let's go. And like pulling him and bring him right towards the warp pipe again. And then picking up from there, and then maybe I still don't know how we would fit Rosalina's introduction into that, but I could see it being like the catalyst of the start of the movie, just like that.
We also haven't even talked about Luigi's role in this movie. We know Luigi's back, but like, how's he gonna fit in? Like, are Mario and Luigi actually gonna be working together this time? Will Luigi be up to something else? Like, will he get his own side adventure? And hopefully not one where he's sidelined. And being kidnapped again.
Yeah. Oh my God, what if they give him the poltergust for some reason? I know it's
I'll
not
take
the
it.
game, but that would be a cool reference overall.
I still want a Luigi's Mansion movie though, so I only want that so he gets his own movie.
Honestly, I think that's probably one of the best games to choose to make a movie out of because there's so much you could do with. I keep saying this though. I feel like there's so much you could do with every game
Every
in this franchise, but specifically for Luigi, I could see like if they wanted to give him his time, that is the way to do it. You know?
Yeah. J to the P says Luigi's going on a desert detour in the Sand Kingdom. Well, he's got to meet Daisy somewhere sometime, right? Though again, I don't think she'll be in
Yeah.
this movie. But hey, if that's how it happens, I'm here for it. So,
Yeah.
um, oh, I do want to point out we talked about this earlier, but how this Toad here is wearing like Mario merch. He's got like Mario pajamas on, like a little Mario
Let me
doll.
take a peek.
So I
Yeah.
mean, not only is it cute, the implication of this is Mario's a huge star here now. Like he saved the Mushroom Kingdom. Like I love the fact that Mario is like a star in this own universe now. Like everyone appreciates Mario for what he did. Like that's
He's
the
the
idea.
superhero.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
superhero.
Yeah, I'm like taking a look too over here, and what I'm also just noticing is that and this is probably just plays into part about how much work they put into the animation and the movie too,
Yeah.
but like each toad is looking so distinct, giving you something completely different. And like you got the sleepy toad in the back, you
Yeah.
got the one with the glasses in the front, as you pointed out, the Mario merch right on our main toad, which makes total sense.
Yeah.
I really think I think one of the chatters mentioned this if there is an up budget, which there usually is whenever there's a sequel for these movies, I think the money's going in the right spot and we're gonna get a more lively Mushroom Kingdom
Wait.
too.
It just you
Yeah.
just said something. I don't know if you meant to say it or not. You said the main Toad. I didn't think about this. Is that the Toad? Is that Keegan Michael
Oh,
Key?
that's what I thought. I thought the whole thing was like, oh, he went on the adventure with him, and now he's like, that's my best friend. I'm
I
gonna
didn't
wear
even make
his
that.
merch.
I thought it even come to my mind that that's actually the Toad.
It could also not be. I was just inferring and making a guess there, but I don't know what's the chat think because that was just what
Let
I
me. Let,
they centered him to the front. He's a red toad. I
I'm
figured that's what they were
I'm
going
gonna do a
for.
poll. I'm gonna do a poll real quick. I already had a previous poll saying, "Will Yoshi talk?" 50% say yes. The other 50% said Yoshi. So I think they're split on that.
Yoshi.
Let me
Hmm.
ask: Is this Hold on here. Start a poll. Is
Yeah, guys,
this
tell us. I'm curious.
is this Toad the Toad?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
He's the only red toad there. Everyone's saying maybe,
I mean,
probably.
the thing is like, red toads are pretty generic. Any color toad is pretty generic, right? So there's nothing specifically
Yeah,
tying to it. But the fact he
true.
is the most prominent toad, as you said, does
Mhm.
suggest that maybe he is the toad. And he was already a big fan of Mario before they even met. They just bonded instantly somehow. Even though Mario kind of
Yeah.
never seemed like he really liked him that much, I'm hoping they kind of fix that in the sequel where they actually are more best friends. I think it's not fair to Toad. Like, without Toad, Mario would have never met the princess, right? So.
Sure.
All right, the poll right, 83% think that is the Toad so far. Do you agree with that? Do you think that you have it right,
So
Chris?
it's like that was the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something there. That's hilarious. I don't know why that didn't occur to me. And I love how all the sails are star shaped too. Like they're going all out with the
But
Star
I have it right
Festival
because
here.
I think
Sorry, you broke up there. Can you say that again? Oh, you keep breaking. Is that me or is that Check? Can you see? Can you
the
guys
main
hear
toad.
me? Okay, I think you might be okay. Say again, Chris. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Give me 2 seconds. It
Okay, thanks, Robert. So yeah, sounds like
might be my power source for my charger. Let me just move that. Keep talking.
okay, will do. So it looks like right now, 80, yeah, so 83% of people think it's the Toad. Anyways, what was I talking about before this? I was saying something else. I can't remember. The video to the super chat, thank you, says, I wish it would have kept Toadsworth. You know, a lot of people say that. I'll be honest with you, I kind of like this guy. I was never the biggest Toadsworth fan. I get why people want him, but this guy's pretty good too. He's basically Toadsworth without the beard. I do think Nintendo wants to get away from facial hair for some reason with Toads, and I think that's why Toadsworth didn't come back, but who knows? Yeah, we're on Discord. So behind the scenes, you can see how it works here. But I wanted to say something else about this. Do I think? Oh, do you think Andrew Sebastian will come? Wait, it wasn't Andrew Sebastian. It was something Sebastian will come back to voice Yoshi from. Oh, I'm sorry, you're talking about someone else. Andrew Sebastian will he come back to voice Yoshi in the Super Mario World TV series and the Super Mario Galaxy movie? I think 0% chance. Is he a big star? Maybe I just don't know who he is. Beyond Mario World, but I don't think he'll come back. Plus, he probably sounds very different these days. So
Okay, I am back just in a little dimmer setting, but we should. I'm hoping that that was the issue and we won't have it again.
all right, sounds good, Chris. We're almost done here anyway. I remember I was gonna point out. If you look at
Mhm.
this, so at the end, let me shrink it here so we can all see it better. So all there's a lot of comets flying in, or yeah, little two shooting stars coming in from like seemingly centering on the castle. That could just be for the art. You know, I don't want to read too much into this, but it looks cool. Though it is a little strange, it all focused on the castle. Like, what are they aiming for? They're trying to take it down. I'm joking. In any case, that's cool.
Mhm.
But look, assuming that is actually the case, what are the Toads looking at? Are they looking at more shooting stars, or is there something else that they're all looking at beyond the shooting stars? You know what I mean? Maybe the shooting stars are just part of it. Maybe there's something else that they're really looking at, like like the giant. Like, chat. I'm trying to remember. Did the Comet Observatory fly by? Were they looking at that too in the storybook? Maybe that's what they're looking at. Could it be the Comet Observatory flying by?
Honestly, that could it could be. I'm looking at it right now. I'm zooming in right now. So I think for the most part, I here's the thing. Normally in any picture, I would just look at it surface level and assume, but I know with Nintendo that there's always like hidden meanings or hidden like little things here and there. So I'm really looking. Um, they're looking all around, which would indicate to me that they're probably looking at all the stars. But if it's something as big as the Comet Observatory, maybe it doesn't matter where you're looking because it might just be so huge in the sky that you'll get a glimpse of it no matter where you're looking.
Yeah, that's yeah,
Um,
could be. Um,
yeah, I'm not really
real quick,
seeing any other hints here.
someone pointed out that I may have made a mistake. This actually may not be the not Toadsworth I mentioned, because apparently
Mhm.
the not Toadsworth in the first movie was blue, whereas this one seems to be purple. That could be a trick of the lighting, but he may be another one of the Princess Peach
Oh.
advisors. In which case, makes you wonder why isn't the main non Toadsworth guy here? So
Uh, oh yeah, I see what you're saying because he is a different shade for sure.
yeah, I mean,
Um,
again, it could be the lighting. It's can't say for sure, but given the colors of everything else, I do think that this one's purple rather than the
I
blue.
I would like to just bring back to the fact that, oh yeah, that is a different blue. Yeah, that's a different color for sure.
Yeah. Are the
So
glasses
I think
different?
we also do have to accept that like we want so much out of this movie. Like there might be a character like that Toadsworth that isn't even in the sequel, you know, for all we know. That it very well could be. I'm just saying like we want so many new characters. There's going to be so many new like concepts being explored as soon as you go into space. Like we might not get every little thing we are looking for, so it's good to temper your expectations and hope what they do is just good, then expect the world and be let down because it's probably going to still be a good movie. Don't let the lack of your favorite character ruin the experience for you, you know? And that's my 2 cents there. Like that doesn't like, you know, do with that what you like, but
Yeah,
just keep it in mind. There's a lot that we're asking for.
it's important to not headcanon things too much. Like it's fine to have theories and expectations, but like, you know,
Mhm.
fully aware just be fully aware of that there's a good chance the movie won't match up to anything we've all envisioned so far. So and that's the fun of it.
For
Like
sure.
I do want to be surprised, hopefully in a good way, by what they end up, cooking here. Robert says, considering the blue guy in the back, I think that's purple in the front. Haha. Oh, that's a good point. There does seem to be a blue guy in the back, though. He almost looks a little purplish too, but he looks more blue than the one in the
Yeah.
front. So I think you're right. Also, just to point out, there are star bits you can see here as well, falling among the shooting stars. which is cute. I'm just trying to see if there's any
Oh,
other
it is cute.
possible details we haven't that we can possibly pick out, but I don't think there is. Like I think we've analyzed this image itself as much as we can. It just looks beautiful. I'm so excited to see this in motion. And
Yeah.
if this is the first scene, it's gonna be beautiful. Like I could see this, in the first movie where the opening scene was Bowser encountering the penguins. That's kind of like the prologue essentially. That could be what this
Mhm.
is here. And that before we rejoin Mario elsewhere, as I mentioned,
Yeah. The
assuming
calm
Mario's
before
not
the
here.
storm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's any number of ways I could go about this. Like, I'm almost thinking Mario is in Brooklyn. Maybe it could be that this whole event ends up changing the warp pipe from Brooklyn. So maybe when he takes a warp pipe, he ends up somewhere else, in space or on another planetoid.
See?
And maybe that's how he ends up meeting Rosalina or encounters some character that takes him to Rosalina or something.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that. And then we also just from looking at this photo, um, I'm wondering if we're gonna, I mean, this sounds silly. They're taking some design liberties here. So I'm wondering if, 'cause, the stars as the sails and stuff like that. I'm just curious to see if how they're gonna reimagine the Starship Conservatory if they include it, because they probably won't stick to the same design that's in the game. They'll probably zhuzh it up a bit, change it, make it more alluring to the eye, especially with all this movie magic they could do with like these special effects. I'm just curious to see how that's gonna play out,
Well,
and hopefully we'll get a glimpse of that tomorrow.
well, I got some news for you. You can get a glimpse of it right now on the back of that Pillsbury box I told you
Oh, I
about.
forgot about
Yeah,
it. Give me
they
a second.
have
I have it.
Yeah, it's zoomed out there, so you can't tell all the details, but it looks
Oh, I see.
immediately recognizable. Also a little different to the game, so I'm excited to see how that looks close up, and if they're gonna explain how Rosalina lives there, like see her living quarters, and all that. It could be really interesting.
Yeah, this is very interesting because you see like the center. I don't want to talk too much in detail because I don't know if people are going to try to avoid the spoilers, but I see what you're saying with a reminiscent design, but still different enough to be its own thing.
Yeah. All right, we gotta wrap it up here soon because I gotta have dinner.
Sure.
But
I agree.
do you think we'll see Rosalina in the trailer? Like, will we actually see a scene with her talking, or are they going to hold out for the second one?
Remind me again, did we get a release date for the second movie yet?
We do. It's I think April 2nd or 3rd next year.
Okay. So I think we could. I think it's by time that we see Rosalina. As because I knew we had a release date, but considering April, yeah, no, I definitely think we should at least get a glimpse. Maybe we might even, like we were saying earlier, get the voice actor name and all that, and they might just be prevalent in the trailer we get. I
Yeah.
can't see them waiting until the premiere for everybody to get it hyped over Rosalina, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think at the least they'll tease her. I do think they may hold off on us hearing her, which I think actually could support the idea. Here's how they could do it. Here's what I actually might think might happen. They'll talk a little bit early on. They won't talk about the voice actors yet. They'll show the trailer. We'll see Rosalina. We won't hear her, but then they'll announce who's voicing her at the end after that. In which case we actually, so we're prepared for the next trailer. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Born96 of the super chat says, "Heard you talk about Yoshi's voice. I could see a Detective Pikachu fully voiced, but others hear the typical sounds." That's
that could be
interesting.
funny.
It's not a bad
Um,
idea, but who would understand him and why? Would Mario have a special link to him or something, or maybe Toad can? I don't know.
I was gonna say what it would be funny if Toad was the quote unquote translator for everybody, and I could totally see Keegan Mike and Michael Key do like, oh, I'm not gonna pass along that message. Do you kiss your mother with that mouth, like type of thing?
Right.
Like, but I love coming up with the speculation and just imagining how things could play out because it's the sky's the limit here. There really is. This is such a popular and well beloved IP that like there's a reason why it is. There's so much you could do with it and so much people could relate to.
We're well beyond the sky being the limit, considering we're going to space here, Chris.
True, 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 true.
All right, Chris, we gotta wrap it up. Chris, how
Yeah.
pumped are you right now for the Mario movie? Now that we know what's coming on Wednesday, how are you feeling? Anything else you want to get out there before we wrap it up?
Okay, I am on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm feeling a solid 9. I'm really happy. I always like to temper my expectations just in case, but I'm really feeling good about it. And any last thoughts? I honestly, the main thing I'm going to be looking out for on Wednesday is to see if Yoshi talks or not, because that's going to make me feel a certain way, one way or the other, if they do it well, if they don't do it well. But otherwise, totally hyped. I can't wait to hear more details about this.
I am at a 10. I don't get that excited
Okay.
that often. I am straight up at a 10. I'm so freaking stoked for this. I can't wait. I'm still a little hesitant on a few things, like the fact they're doing Galaxy at all. But I have faith in the
Mhm.
Illumination team, and everything we're seeing so far looks freaking gorgeous and beautiful. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see Yoshi in action. Can't wait to see Rosaline in the starship. Can't wait to find out about the story, what's going on there. See all these amazing effects, and oh man, I'm so excited. I'm so freaking hyped for this. And we'll be there on Wednesday. Well, Chris unfortunately won't be. I will be there on Wednesday streaming it for everyone. You can see my reaction live
I'll
on
be
stream.
watching.
You'll be all
I'll
right,
be
Chris.
watching.
Awesome. Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
so much fun. And yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, that's it for us here, everyone. But I do want to tell everyone to go follow my wonderful friend and guest today, Chris, over on their YouTube channel _ at Pixel Chris. I linked to it in the chat right now. It's also in the description, so go follow Pixel Chris. Chris, is there anywhere else people should follow you at? I know I see your TikToks all the time on my feed, so
Thank you. Yeah, first off, thank you so much for having me. This was a great time, and the community has been great here. You guys have all contributed and said some very interesting stuff, which has me thinking. But yeah, definitely check out my YouTube channel. I do a lot of Pokemon and Nintendo content. I'm starting to switch up. The short form is Pokemon. We're gonna go back to long form, but that's gonna be more video game reviews and stuff once the new year hits. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then you could find me as well on TikTok, Instagram. Find me on LinkedIn. No, I'm just kidding, not LinkedIn, but all at _Pixel Chris. And I really appreciate it, guys. It really means the world.
well, thanks so much for joining us, Chris, and thanks for watching, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Make sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, both on my channel and Chris's. And of course, we'll see you on Wednesday for our live direct reaction. We'll probably be copyright striked, but whatever. We're gonna be streaming it because I can't wait. It's gonna be all
Cheers.
fun, and it's gonna be a blast. Chris, thanks for being here. Everyone, catch you later. See you on Wednesday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.